Hi, hello, welcome to Kit and Kajira Gaming. Welcome if you are new, you can call me KK, and today we are doing my first ever Palia speed build. Now this is the first time I've ever done a speed build on Palia, and just as a heads up, this honestly took me about 4 days in real life to do. So we're going to move all of these things over here into this building that I put over here, and we're going to turn this into a workshop for all of these craftable things that you get on Palia. You can see in this clip here, I still have the fireplace that I needed to put together, but these are the rooms that I used. I did 2 medium rooms and 3 hallways on a regular harvest house. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and mess around with my wallpapers. I wanted this to have a very rustic feel to it, which is the complete opposite of my main harvest house, which is very like dark and witchy. So everything in here is going to be rich browns. We're going to have a couple of accents of black and some stone colors. And we're just gonna go and fill all of the rooms with everything that we need. And the longest part was trying to move all of these crafting benches in here. This front room that we're currently working on right now is kind of like the main entrance way to the workshop. So it's as if this is where I come like, hey, this is what's on the docket today to be made. The room directly behind the main entrance is the forge area. So it's where all of my glass makers and smelters are. And then that last room off to the right is where the loom and the saws and repair bench are going to go. A lot of this build is just filling in with little knickknacks. So you'll see me throughout the entire build. I'm putting different shelving units with a bunch of different gourmet cups and the pots and pans in the smelter room, which I think add that perfect foundry feel. And then stay tuned towards the end where I kind of do something. I call it my little secret. It's probably not a secret. A bunch of people have probably done this before, but I thought this was ingenious. So stay tuned to the end to see exactly what I'm talking about. Now I do end up moving these shelves quite a bit to get to the exact height that I'm wanting. So you'll see me adjust these periodically throughout the game. And like I said, this took me 4 days in real life to do from start to finish. There was tons of footage that I ended up cutting out. So if you see random transitions, you're like, hey, like this wasn't there a second ago, I moved it. And honestly, I think that's one of the great things I love about Palia. While yes, it is a cozy game, it's also kind of grindy to like have you be able to craft this stuff, and it just feels a little more accomplished if I have to go and grind to make these items versus just purchasing them in a shop. This is a great use for your storage chest. Get them out of that inventory is to just put them up on shelves if you're having some sort of foundry or even a storage room. This is the perfect way of kind of mimicking having extra chests that we are limit locked on Palia. Now, as you will see at the end of the tour, there isn't a lot of knickknacks on the shelves. I will eventually go back and fill these up with a bunch of little pots and little finds that you can get from your other quest lines. But for now, I'm just going to use what I had resource-wise, and I'll fill it up later as I go. Now, personally, for me, one way to change up the way these little items that are all similar is to use that modification bench. Even though they are the same item, I personally feel like just changing the color kind of almost makes it feel like an entirely new item on its own. And it does add some realism, especially when things in a workshop aren't exactly all the same color all the time. This little area over here in the corner does go through a couple of transitional phases. I did end up keeping this bookshelf. There isn't much on it, but like I said a few minutes ago, eventually I will be putting some more little knickknacks on there. But I just wanted to have a place for all little odds and ends that would be found in a foundry. I end up moving around these smelters quite a bit until I get it to fit just right. I have seen some people, I believe, clip it into the fireplace, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do it. So for now, this is what I'm stuck with. If you guys know, let me know in the comments down below, how do I clip the smelter into the fireplace? I feel like it probably has something to do with the gourmet soup bowl, but I haven't tried it. This center thing here that I'm building honestly happens to end up becoming one of my most favorite parts of this forge. And I just made this little center island work table using the industrial dressers and a wood floor building block. I put the mechanical chopper that you can get from Najuma, a Paltech light that you get from the underground, and then I just took a gourmet fork and knife and put them on top as they almost look like tools while you're working on the mechanical chopper. Now this last room back here, this is going to be my saw room, I guess. That sounds really bad. But this is where we're going to have all of our wood-based products, including our repair bench. And we're also going to have the loom back here. I think Tish's drawing board in this area with the blueprint wallpaper adds that perfect feel of somebody who is definitely using this space to craft all sorts of alien magic. I did try to keep the decor in this whole house to a minimum. I wanted it to feel more workshoppy and less cluttercore like I have been doing, so hopefully that translates towards the end. The makeshift items that you pull up from fishing are the perfect addition to a workshop build because they are just bits and pieces kind of smashed together like you would find in a workshop. Also, using these building blocks is a perfect way to make it look like you have crates of inventory ready to be crafted just sitting in your workspace. I didn't want the lighting in the house at all to be too bright, so I'm using a lot of the light that comes off of either the smelter or a couple of desk lights because I didn't want anything in here to be bright. I wanted it to feel almost dark and homey. And this is that little secret nod that I was talking about earlier where I took stone pavers and put them in a couple of small stacks by the smelter and the glass to represent the stone that goes in there as if that was already been crafted and waiting to be used in a project. And I did the same thing with the wood planks in front of the saw. Most, if not all of my furniture pieces are the industrial furniture. I think it just adds to that feel of this being somewhere where you go to work and not somewhere that's supposed to be cozy. And I think my most loved section that I did, the tiny little detail, is with those stone pavers and the wood planks. And here we are at the front of my completed workshop minus a few little knickknacks. I decided to end filming it because all I did was I was just going back and forth with adding a bunch of little knickknacks here and there to fill in the space. So let's take a look together. You guys have already seen my front porch where we come in with a plant and a lantern, but this is the front welcome area. So of course we have a grimoire, a couple of gems kind of floating around on some of the bookshelves, some small natural lighting from the homestead lamp, and just a bunch of cozy decor on the wall. I did put bay windows on the front of the harvest house so that I could display some of the pieces that we have crafted and to also just kind of give it some sort of texture to it. Another place to add the trunks and kind of add some height to the build as well. I do have the homestead cabinet thing over here with nothing in it because I don't know what's put in there yet. I used the Ravenwood spotlight lamps up to illuminate the windows, and I think it just gives these corners just that nice little glow. As we walk into the forge, we are met with all three of my smelters and my glass maker. And I think out of this whole build, honestly, this is probably my favorite room of the whole build. I love the way everything is so sleek and clean, and it looks like it is actively being used at the same time with a little chop-a-bot and some tools on the table. Now, this room in particular was inspired by this lovely YouTube creator right here. I took heavy inspiration from her build while watching her, and that is what made me want to do an entire house as my workshop. Honestly, I had nowhere to put all the workshop stuff. It was kind of just floating all over my plot, and I think this was probably the perfect addition to my plot. Let me know in the comments down below if you have your favorite Palia speed builder creator. I would love to go follow them and see what creative ingenuity they're getting to as well. This hallway needs to be finished decorating, so we're going to ignore it. But here is our wood room. This little pantry industrial thing I have back in that corner with the colorful pots, I kind of wanted it to be a lore of like these are the paints that we would use to change the color of our items. I thought it was just a cute little touch. I did put some wood pavers up on the top. You'll see little bits of wood. We have wood logs and the planks everywhere. So this feels and looks like a space that is very much currently in use. And that's going to do it, guys. This is my very first Palia speed build. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. What is your favorite part? Do you have a workshop house, or is your stuff just kind of floating around? If you guys do enjoy this kind of content, including all other cozy game content, be sure to give this video a great big thumbs up. It really, truly does help me in the algorithm. And don't forget, click that subscribe button and the notification bell. It'll go ding in your inbox every time I post. You guys can follow me across all social media sites linked down below. That's Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. And currently, during the summer, I am streaming almost every day over here on YouTube and on Twitch. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, Twitch only for a variety stream with my husband, Broke Pixels Gaming. That's typically playing something like Power World, Icarus, Ark, or something like that. Like my tagline says, I suck at video games, but at least I make it fun. I'm a small-time content creator looking to grow her channel in 2024. And I hope you guys will continue on this journey with me. Thank you guys so much for sticking by me while I do this speed build, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys!